So we're enjoying this little teardrop, I must be honest with you. It's quite a nice setup in comparison to tent camping. It's somewhat bulkier. You're obviously now towing your bed around, but it comes with a lot of cool features and advantages that we are lacking when you camp with just a tent. We've obviously now got a second fridge, which is nice. For 1 or 2 nights we don't really need this, but for anything longer this does make our lives a little bit easier. I got bored, and this 12-volt pump on the switch, I attached some lights hidden inside here that activate when I activate my pump. But yeah, we've popped out to the farm, also known as Eston 4x4. We were going to head up to the Berg, changed our minds. Just 3 hours driving for one night, it's a bit rough. So we left late last night, got here just after 8:30, and this is so easy to set up. I mean, the longest aspect of this setup is the awning. And yeah, by 10 o'clock we were chilling in bed. We've decided to run an electric blanket with this. So we've got a Queen electric blanket here, it's 100 watts. I've wired in an inverter to this plug, so we just plug it in, and we've got a very warm bed. The temperature last night was in the region of 7 degrees. I see it's moved up to 9.3 now, so it wasn't freezing last night, not by any means. The last trip we did in the Berg was -2, -3. That was a bit colder. And take the chance to chat about my power setup in the trailer. So we camp off-grid. That's our predominant camping style. We don't run away from 220-volt campsites, but we don't also actively search them out. So this is a slimline portable 105 amp hour lithium battery. It has a Bluetooth BMS. It's customizable in the sense that you can fit USB-C, USB, quick charge 4, Hella 12-volt sockets to this box. It comes standard with 2 and 2 Brad Harrison or Anderson plugs. It's made by a friend of mine, Rob, from Trailer Soul. We have already started to finish up with this prototype and move on to the second version, which has built-in anchor points, and it's also got a flat fold carry handle that takes up almost no space, but it allows you to move it around a little bit easier. Threw together this little carpeted effort So we've got the 2 bus bars, then the 6-way fuse box. This mega fuse is for the inverter, and then everything else runs through these. And then there are 1 or 2 other items that don't run through this fuse box. They run through my bus bars, and then they are obviously individually fused with an inline fuse. So if I need to work in here at night, we've got access to touch light. My solar regulator is a Victron MPPT, and that's 75 volts maximum panels, and it's a 15 amp maximum output with the Bluetooth. So that runs off of a 275 watt panel. I can get 220 volt up to 500 watts out of this. It's not a lot. 500 watts is very low. However, it's enough to charge cameras, fast charge cell phones, run electric blankets, and just a few other very simple things, which is all we really want. Remember, this is the big rig. This is 1.5 kVA inverter in here. This is where the power is. And that's pretty much that for now. There's a few other things coming. I've got quick access to 220 volt with this. It's not pretty, but it's probably the most convenient way of getting quick access. I've also then got a dedicated inverter plug in the rear of the trailer, and that is accessed via this male plug here. So this is obviously safe whether the inverter is on or off, because this goes to the plug and it requires power. I've set it up that the power is only output from this white box, so there's no way I can shock myself if I'm working in here, even if the inverter is on. That's why I've done it that way. My shore power is here. If I plug in with a normal caravan cable, that obviously then makes this unnecessary. So that's pretty much the end of it. Just quickly, these here are quite nice. It's a common negative and then individually fused positives. So you run one positive in, one negative in, and then you can basically just run it out from here. I've got I think this is a 10mm square cables coming in here from the battery. They come in via the bus bars. These are 300 amp rated. And then I pull power, so fridge, extra lights, all of that comes from this little box. And then it's got an LED indicator, so if one of the fuses pop, the light switches on, so I know immediately what circuit's blown. This is just a random tent setup storage, chocks, tent pegs, tarp, etc. We've got our little cupboards. We've got bulkhead storage behind the pillows. We've got these here. This still is a work in progress. I think I'm going to put some lights inside here on each one. I want to try and find some sort of magnetic or pressure related switch so they come on by themselves when I do that. Or shit, when I do that, I still need to figure out how I'm going to do these, because this is a very temporary measure at the moment. But that is the inside of the trailer. Quite happy. We upgraded these lights to the new style, so it's more of an opaque finish. We've learnt that they don't, apart from being advertised as water resistant, they're not. This is the old one that I used to have, so this one works, but if you have them outside they don't last. I'm hoping those new ones are a bit better, because they're not cheap, so we'll see how they go. It's been a really nice weekend so far. It wasn't the weekend we planned, however it turned out to be phenomenal. Quiet, no drama, not many people, which is nice. Chilling with people that we know and we've pretty much come to call family here at Eston. It's always a pleasure. We're going to go on a little night drive now, get some cell phone signal, quickly check in and make sure the family's all alright at home. Hopefully get Alex to go to bed early. Always a drive in the car always works for the kids. He's had a really busy day. But yeah, just mentioned something that I haven't mentioned here on YouTube as yet, and it's pretty much one of the things I'm going to need to make a whole separate video for. But is a recent announcement by TJM making me their brand ambassador, TJM 4x4 Africa. So that's a new thing for me, and it's something that I'm looking forward to. I'm going to try and see how that goes. I don't really know much about being a brand ambassador. I've been approached a few times and I never really agreed to it, because I feel that it's always on terms, while these guys have just said to me, you know what, we want you to be you and keep doing you, and there's no strings attached. So it's a pretty good deal for me. Yeah, I'm excited. Things are looking up. It all came to be because of my recent suspension issue. I snapped a leaf spring somehow, and I wasn't really in a position to fit new suspension all at once. I needed to do the front of the car. The plan was to do the front and then come back later in a month or two's time, do the rear, and then a month or two after that do the leaf springs. So it would have been coils and shocks in the front, then wait a bit, save up some bucks, 2 shocks in the rear, wait a bit, save up some more money, and new leaf springs. Understandably so, my old suspensions have done over 100,000 k's of hard driving, so TJM stepped up and they've sorted me out, but more on that later. So one of the benefits of my recent partnership with TJM is the suspension we fitted to the van. We opted to run the XGS Roma shocks and the Gold Series coils with a 500 kilo rear leaf pack. The coils are a 90 to 110 constant load in the front. The van is firm but not uncomfortable. It handles off-roading very nicely. Tows my trailer now like an absolute dream. I'm very pleased. All new suspension performs very well. If anyone tells you different, then they're lying. But I'm very pleased with the combination we've got here, and the 600 k's that I've put on the suspension setup already is proving that I'm going to enjoy this for the next 120,000 k's. So if you're wondering what this random light on the side of my car is, I've started to do my roof mount light setup, and I've fitted some pod lights to my canopy roof, which chucks a nice bit of light out the side here for when we do night drives, which we do a lot of. Coupled with my headers, which I've got on the front of the van, we've got a pretty good throw of lights. I've got to get some extra lights to go on the rear just to complete the 360 degree field of view that I want with the lights. Then it'll be happy days. The end of another great weekend of camping. We managed to pack up just before the rain hit us, and looks like we're going to be climbing out of the valley with the trailer in the rain. Should be alright though. Just means I'm going to have to wash the trailer when we get home, because I still haven't put mud flaps in the back of this car, so that trailer's going to be covered in mud. But yeah, if you're still watching at this point, thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one.